lot of the people of misguidance and innovation who belong to various sects and groups, they use al-madhhab al-fiqhi to hide al-madhhab al-aqadi. For example, you see a person who is from the Maturidiyah, and the Maturidiyah are a firqa min al-firaq التي تنتسب إلى الإسلام. They're a group of the people who attribute themselves to Islam, and a Muslim sect. This sect has deviant beliefs, من الفرق الضالة. It's from the misguided groups. However, they are strongly associated with the Hanafi madhab. So when they want to present themselves in front of the people, do they stand in front of the people and say, here we are Maturidiyah? They don't. Instead, they stand in front of the people and say, here we are Hanafi. And Ikhwani, take from me, there is no connection at all between the Aqeedah of Abi Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala and the Aqeedah of al-Maturidi. These two things don't. These two things are ضدان. They are opposite to each other. They don't go together. But what the person wants to do, they don't want to stand up and say, hi, I'm a member of a deviant sect. They want to stand up and say, they want some credibility. They want to belong to a mainstream, group that can be recognized and people have respect for them. So they stand up and say, here I am, Hanafi. And the reality is, we say, this is a discussion of apples and oranges. These two are not the same. You are mixing two things, whether right or wrong. It doesn't matter if you love the Aqeedah al-Maturidi or you hate it. The point is that you are now comparing apples to oranges. You have taken a madhab fiqhi, a matter of fiqh, al-furu' al-fiqhiyya, the issues of where do you put your hands on your chest, and what's the start of the prayer, and how many times do you divorce your wife, and you have mixed that with belief in Allah and the angels and the prophets and the scripture and qadr. That's got nothing to do with that. They are not connected to each other. So what the person has done is to mix up al-madhab al-fiqhi and al-madhab al-aqadi. And why they have done that is to give themselves legitimacy and to make it easy to fool people. Because when you stand in front of the people and say, I am Maturidi, people start to ask, well, what's that all about? And where did that belief come from? And what do you really believe actually? But when you stand in front of someone and say, I'm Hanafi, easy, accept it. Hanafi, mashallah, well known. Abu Hanifa, the great Imam, one of the A'immat al-Arba'ah, the four Imams of fiqh, whose madahib are famous in the world today. No problem. And that's why you see them hiding behind what? The sharaf of Abi Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala. They say he is al-Imam al-A'zam. He's the greatest Imam. He is the most knowledgeable. He's the oldest. He's the one who met some of the Sahaba. And even though he met them when he was small and he didn't narrate a hadith from them, but he has a virtue. We say you're talking about apples and oranges. You're not comparing the same thing, because your belief and the belief of Abi Hanifa is totally and utterly different. Because in reality, you are hiding from the people the fact that you do not believe what Abu Hanifa used to believe. You do not share his aqeedah. In fact, you do not accept his aqeedah at all. You don't accept it. You are as far away from the aqeedah of Abi Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, very far from it. Very far. But it's useful and helpful to put up a screen so that the regular people don't see the reality of what you really believe. So don't mix al-madhab al-fiqhi and al-madhab al-aqadi. Rather, even I'm going to say, even this is not only Ahl Bid'ah who did this. Even sometimes people from Ahl Sunnah might mix these two. So sometimes you have from the ulama of Ahl al-Hadith, those who mix the issue of al-madhab al-aqadi and al-madhab al-fiqhi. So they might make inkar of a madhab fiqhi or intisab to a madhab fiqhi on a basis that something to do with aqeedah. So they say that, for example, those people who attribute themselves to this madhab are like this. Like, the reality is those two apples and oranges. There can be a discussion about a tamadhub. Should you take a madhab in fiqh and all of that? That's a discussion. Like, don't bring it into aqeedah. It doesn't belong in the science of aqeedah at all, really. It belongs maybe in the discussion of fiqh and usul al-fiqh. It belongs there. It doesn't really, sometimes there could be issues coming to aqeedah, but it's not where it really, most of the time it doesn't belong there. So don't mix these two up.